The NBA is no stranger to epic rivalries that ignite passion and rivalry like wildfire. From fierce regional battles to conference clashes and championship grudges, these showdowns have given fans some of the most unforgettable moments in the game. With superstar players like Magic Johnson, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and Larry Bird leading the charge, these rivalries reached epic proportions. So let's buckle up and take a journey through the top 5 most thrilling and intense NBA rivalries that have left us all begging for more. From jaw-dropping fights to championship glory, these matchups have shaped basketball history and captured our hearts. This is Stardom Central, and without further ado, let's dive into the court. Be sure you subscribe to this channel and give this video a like if you're enjoying the content. Number 5. LA Lakers vs Boston Celtics. The LA Lakers vs Boston Celtics is a legendary rivalry that's been brewing since 1959. This ain't your ordinary friendly competition. We're talking about championship clashes, Hall of Famers going head-to-head, and a dash of East Coast versus West Coast beef. But that's not all. Back in the day, this rivalry also highlighted the strong racial divides between the two cities. On one side, the Celtics with their great white hope, Larry Bird, and on the other, the Lakers with their African-American dominated roster, led by none other than Magic Johnson. The history between these giants of basketball has been intense, resulting in jaw-dropping 12 finals showdowns between 1959 and 2010. Celtics clinched the trophy 9 times, while the Lakers celebrated 3 championships of their own. Even during the off-season, the trash-talking doesn't stop. With a whopping combined total of 33 NBA championships between them, you can bet these titans will continue to clash for years to come. Fans and players alike are fiercely loyal to their teams, and the bragging rights are worth fighting for. Number 4. Seattle SuperSonics vs Portland Trail Blazers. This feud dates back to 1977, when they were both fierce contenders in the Pacific Division. Over the years, they faced off more than 100 times, and the intensity has only escalated. The 80s were the golden era for this rivalry. The SuperSonics had the upper hand, snagging 9 out of 11 matchups and even grabbing the title in 1978. That's when things got serious, and fans from both cities passionately picked sides. Fast forward to the late 90s and early 2000s, and the heat was still on. Both teams were stacked with talent, resulting in some nail-biting close games. The Blazers ruled the early 2000s, but the SuperSonics had their moment of glory in 2007, claiming the 6th Division championship. While the intensity might have cooled down a bit since then, don't let that fool you. Whenever the SuperSonics and Blazers go head-to-head, sparks fly and passion takes center stage. Number 3. The Detroit Pistons vs Chicago Bulls. The Detroit Pistons and Chicago Bulls rivalry is like a roller coaster ride you never want to end. It all started back in the late 80s and early 90s when both teams were at the peak of their powers. The Bulls, led by the legendary Michael Jordan, are soaring with back-to-back championship runs, while the Pistons earned the notorious nickname the Bad Boys with their fierce style of play. Things got seriously spicy during the 80s and 90s when these teams were locked in a fierce battle for supremacy in the Eastern Conference. The Pistons took down the Bulls in 1988, dashing their playoff dreams and snatching an NBA title for themselves. But revenge was a dish served cold, and the Bulls struck back in 1989, sweeping the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals and claiming their first ever championship. While the rivalry might have simmered down a bit over the years, the memories of those classic battles will resonate with us. Whenever these two powerhouses meet, we're instantly transported back in time, reliving the epic showdowns. Number 2. Chicago Bulls vs the New York Knicks. During the Michael Jordan era, the Chicago Bulls had no shortage of rivals trying to take them down. But one of the most exciting matchups was against the gritty New York Knicks. These guys might have been the underdogs, but they sure knew how to give the Bulls a run for their money. The Chicago Bulls and New York Knicks have a history that goes way back to 1967, the very year the Bulls were born. And let me tell you, it's been a wild ride since then. With decades of jaw-dropping players, heated showdowns, and epic battles, this rivalry is an absolute thriller to watch. Back in 1968, the Bulls got a taste of defeat when the Knicks soundly thrashed them with a score of 108-87. That set the tone for some intense matchups, with the Bulls struggling to keep up with the Knicks' powerhouse roster. But then, in 1984, the game changed forever when the Bulls drafted the basketball legend himself, Michael Jordan. With MJ leading the charge, the Bulls became an unstoppable force, snatching an impressive 6 NBA championships. The 90s witnessed some iconic moments in NBA history, like Jordan's jaw-dropping 55-point game in 1995, leading the Bulls to a thrilling 113-111 overtime victory. The Knicks did manage to get the last laugh in 1994, when Jordan took a break from basketball to try his hand at baseball. The Knicks seized the opportunity and won the series in 7 games, marching to the finals, but they were ultimately defeated by the Houston Rockets. Sure, the rivalry might not be as scorching as in the Jordan era, but there's no denying the history between these two teams. Even in the present day, they still deliver some top-notch basketball action that keeps fans on the edge of their seats. Number 1. Miami Heat vs San Antonio Spurs. Let's fast forward to more recent times, where a new, captivating rivalry emerged, the Miami Heat vs San Antonio Spurs. This dynamic duel began in 2013 and 2014 when both teams met not once but twice in the finals. Miami Heat with the mighty LeBron James were riding high after their first NBA title win in 2012. They were on a mission to prove they weren't just a one-hit wonder, and boy did they show it. The Spurs on the other hand had their very own Big Three with Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, and Manu Ginobili. First came the epic showdown in 2013, a sensational 7-game series that had us all at the edge of our seats. Miami Heat eventually reigned supreme, successfully defending their title with back-to-back championships. In a thrilling twist of fate, the two teams found themselves clashing again in 2014. This time, the tables turned and it was the Spurs who triumphed in the finals. A 22-year-old Kawhi Leonard, shining like a rising star, even bagged the finals MVP trophy. The 2014 finals marked the end of the Big Three era in Miami, as LeBron made his triumphant return to the Cleveland Cavaliers just a few months later. But the heat of the rivalry between the Miami Heat and San Antonio Spurs didn't cool down. Although both teams might not be consistently on top these days, you can bet they still bring their A-game whenever they cross paths. The legacy of this epic rivalry will forever hold a special place in NBA history, and we can't wait to see what the future holds for these two powerhouses. So there you have it, our top 5 NBA rivalries of all time. Which one do you think is the best? Let us know in the comments below. And guys, wait right here, you're missing an essential step. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. For more insightful and helpful videos, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.